It's been a minute since I came here. I don't even know how to act. Yeah, I don't know what else we used to talk about.
Allah! Allah!
But yeah. Okay. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Inspired to Transform. My name is Whitney Akinyi. If you're new here, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share, and be sure to leave a comment. So the basic goal of this show is to inspire transformation through the shift of mindset, and basically we'll be having conversations about basically everything and anything that has to do with how life works and how to ease in and smoothen this thing called life. At the same time, we'll talk about money, everything and anything to do with money. So I hope you enjoy today's episode and you stick around for more. Please excuse my hoarse voice. It was a heavy weekend. So in today's episode, I'll talk about the reason why I chose this particular topic is because we as human beings are often limited by our emotions. It's a question of fear, it's a question of overthinking, it's a question of all these limited beliefs and perceptions that we have of ourselves, expectations that we have of others, all these things, all these stories that we tell ourselves that inhibit our progress. That's what we're going to talk about today when we relate to emotional freedom. Because emotional freedom, let me tell you something, is one of the things that I want to really chase and explore after, or rather concurrently with financial freedom. Because I realize that the moment you truly decide to set yourself free from emotions that you do not have control over, one, and emotions that you do have control over, then you begin to actually experience the beauty of life. Because when we're relating with people and you try and understand why some people act the way they do, you'll never truly have answers, because you can never ever put yourself in a position of how someone acts, how they choose to react, their beliefs, their systems, because we are all brought up in different settings, we're all brought up in different ways by different people, exposed to different things, both positive and negative, that have all attributed to who we are today. You understand? So once you put yourself in a position where you're trying to understand, why is this person acting the way they're acting? Why is this person not talking to me? Why is this person being mean? And then you try and start to carry someone else's baggage because you're trying to make sense of everything. That's not your job. That is not your job, honey. That is not your job. I hope you know it's not your job. What's the essence of tiptoeing through life? Like, honestly, life is meant to be lived. Life is meant to be loved. Okay? There's no essence of you living life tiptoeing, worrying, and moving with so much caution just because you're scared. Just because you think you can't. Just because you think it's not right for you. Just because you think you don't deserve it. Just because you think you're unlucky. What's the essence? That beats the whole essentiality of living. Why are we living if we're tiptoeing through life? Embrace life as is. Embrace life with its challenges, because life's a game. One day we're winning, one day we're losing. But are we really losing if we're learning? A question you should ask yourself. So in this particular context, I've had quite an emotional roller coaster since January, since the year began in general. So last night, I was doing a monthly review for February, and in the planner, the boss planner section, you have a segment for writing the goals you achieved and the goals you didn't achieve. Then you have a section for writing the reasons why you didn't achieve the goals you didn't achieve. So as I was writing the reasons why I did not achieve the goals that I did, I was shocked, because every single thing is tied to my emotions. Like, I didn't feel like waking up. I didn't feel connected enough to read books. I didn't feel connected enough to continue with YouTube. I felt disoriented. What's with all these feelings? That's all I'm trying to understand. I was too scared to start Project X. I was waiting for the perfect time so that project Y could materialize so that I can start in quarter 2. Why are we procrastinating, Whitney? It's these limiting emotions that we set for ourselves that prevent us from having progress. Like, one thing that I've learned, the moment you tell yourself and you have that conviction that you can't, then you truly can't. But if you know you can, you will. If you trust you can, then you will. So my question to you today is, do you acknowledge and understand the limiting beliefs and emotions that you have set for yourself, or rather those that have been embedded in you throughout your life? If you still don't have a vast understanding of who you are as an individual, you should not go ahead and start trying to understand other people, because you'll just be damaging yourself in the process. Because it doesn't make sense, for you to go and start trying to understand. You're sitting here, you're trying to understand, why is he acting the way he's acting? Who raised him? Why is she behaving that way? How come this particular thing is causing her so much pain? Like, why is she vexing so much over this small matter? You're trying to understand all that. You can't make sense of it. But have you sat down and looked in the mirror and asked yourself the same questions? Because if you cannot be able to answer the same questions that you're asking others on your own, like, can you answer those questions for yourself? Like, I am the way I am because, I act the way I act because, I am not achieving my goals because, I am procrastinating because, I fear relationships or commitments because. If you're not in a position to answer these questions, then please, let us not focus on other people and what questions we can answer for them, because it's impossible, practically impossible, literally impossible. So in a nutshell, what am I saying? All I'm saying is, life is good, love is better, but freedom is best. Because if you can reach to the level where you're tapping into emotional freedom, financial freedom, and other freedoms that we'll talk about as days go by, then you will truly and surely, and I kid you not, experience the true beauty of life. I am one person who really believes that life is beautiful. Life is as good as you make it. Like, if you want to wallow in problems and look at life like life is just full of, shit. Like, life has so many problems. Like, you're looking at problems, you're looking at life from a scope of problems. You're looking at life from a scope of limitations instead of abundance, instead of progress, instead of beauty and love. Then that is what life is going to become for you. You are basically what you think about. If you're constantly thinking about limitations, that is what you will become. If you're constantly thinking that you can't, you will not. If you're constantly thinking about how I am too lazy to do this, this particular thing is not for me. So what is for you? What is for you? So all I'm saying is, we need to free ourselves. Free ourselves from, one, emotions that deter us, emotions that inhibit our progress. I'm talking about fear. I'm going to repeat this because I'd love this to sink in. It's that fear. That fear that you have of the unknown is crippling you. You experience more pain by thinking about what could be, by thinking about or fearing the unknown, than the actual pain that you'd experience when that thing actually comes to pass. You cannot have both emotions and progress. You need to choose one. You honestly need to choose one. We have this tendency of overthinking things. Like, you want to overthink the future. This is me. Like, I'm a serious overthinker. I literally sit down, I can spend 30 minutes, I kid you not, overthinking about what could be, what could go wrong. Like, so many, like, scenario A, scenario B, scenario C, to the point that I end up emotionally draining myself. Like, imagine being a toxic person to yourself simply because you're letting your emotions control you and not vice versa. That is what I mean when I talk about emotional freedom. Being free from your emotions and taking charge of your emotions. Be the one controlling your emotions and not letting your emotions control you. Because at that particular point is when you will attain the freedom that we're talking about. Because even when you relate with others, if someone makes a silly mistake, you won't be quick to anger. You won't be quick to judge. You'll just be like, okay, let me try put myself in your shoes. Let me try understand where you're coming from. You know? I'm not going to get pissed because I expect this from you. No. The reality of the matter is, you may have had a bad day, you may have had a bad week, but I'm not going to I'm not going to get drained emotionally and mentally trying to figure out why you're doing what you're doing simply because it's not up to my standards. It's not something that I do. We're not doing that anymore. We say 2021 is for boss moves only. If you didn't get the memo, now you got it. Boss moves only. Okay? So one of the things that we need to do is, please, other than financial freedom, let us look for emotional freedom. Thank you guys so much for watching this video up until here. I hope you've learned so much, and I hope you have gotten to relate to what I'm talking about when it comes to emotional freedom. And be sure to leave a comment. A comment down in the comment section. And yeah, I'll be sharing more about emotional freedom techniques as the month goes by. Yeah, I'll just share it in the course of the month. Don't worry about that, because it's something that I'm also starting out, and I hope it gets to impact me in a positive way, and I can be able to share that with you. So thank you so much for watching this video once again. If you haven't, please do subscribe, share, like, leave a comment, turn the post notifications on. And with that having been said and done, stay safe and always choose productivity. Bye.